Welcome to the Healing and Deliverance Tree channel, where we support you in maintaining your divine journey of healing, prospering, and purpose. You are beautiful, created in the image of God. You're called. There's a war over you being chosen, but you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Here we will help equip you for that war, and victory is our only accepted outcome. So let's now move on to kidney health. Guys, I don't know about you. I know I'm speaking. Guys, this is America. This is America. We have a health crisis in this country. You cannot tell me, believers and non-believers alike, you cannot tell me that this is not resonating with people listening to this video. We are struggling so bad, especially in the church, when it comes to this topic of health. We are struggling and striving and suffering when we don't need to be. And because guess what? We weren't called to suffer. Jesus did not create us to suffer. And he definitely didn't create suffering to have the power to overcome and overpower us. He passed down authority and power that we can overcome any and everything. And this was an assault on my very life. And there's a lot of believers out there where your life is under assault and hanging in the balance. From the first chart, the normal range should be between 0 and 30. That's the ratio that should be there. 0 and 30, everybody. Guess where I was? Look at me. All the way up here at 119. That's how high I was, almost off the Richter scale. Let's go down to the second one. Our creatine. The normal range is supposed to be between 28 and 217. I was at 174. Now, does that keep me inside of the normal range? Yes, but if you look at it, I'm all the way towards the higher end, to where even though I'm safe, it's like I barely made it. I'm almost towards the end of the road there, right? Let's go down to the bottom. And this is one of the most powerful testimonies I have. And you're going to see why I'm getting choked up and emotional. One of the main mission statements of the book that I wrote is the enemy comes to do nothing but to kill, steal, and destroy. And that is exactly what he does. If you will allow him to do it, he will do it. He will do it in whatever way he can possibly get away with it in, until he keeps going and going and going and going until you get up and stop him. So at the very bottom, if you guys look in the left-hand upper corner, it says the normal or healthy range should be undetectable, because it's saying less than 2.0. Other areas will say it should be 0. And I'm going to show you that. And look at where I started at 20, almost 30, almost 21, because it's 20.8. We're supposed to be 0 or so tiny it's undetectable at all. And I'm already starting off at 20. And you could say, oh my God, that's not good. That's bad. If this is something that's supposed to be 0 or undetectable and you have 20, guess what I'm about to show you? There's my name up in the left-hand corner, so you can confirm that these are my records. It's the same information, same data, same numbers. If you want to say being at 20 was such a bad start and in a bad and unhealthy place, if you look at the chart, I started at 20. Out of the blue, I already started in a bad place. Out of the blue, very shortly thereafter, it spiked and skyrocketed all the way up to 100. All the way up to 100. This is something that we're not supposed to have in our urine at all. Look at 20.8. They're marking 20 as high. So what do you think 100 is? It's astronomical. But the Lord, not the hospital, not the doctor, not somebody's opinion, comes that you might have life and survive and live, to be alive, to have a life, and that life is supposed to be a better quality of life, more abundantly. If you're not going to the source for these things, you're going to be striving, trying very hard, trying to get them, and you're not probably going to be doing a very good job at them. The very next test I take, what do I have? What are my results? We going from extreme hanging off a cliff, life hanging on by a thread. By the time I got to July of 2021, I went from that 20 to 30 to vroom, all the way up to 100. Out of nowhere. Astronomical, off the chart. On something that you should be at 0 on. You shouldn't even be here, and you all the way up at 100. And it stayed there. All the way from 2020, all the way through 2021. Guess what happened by September of 2022? So this is the following year. Out of the blue, I go get tested. And what number am I at? I'm at completely negative. Now, keep in mind, there's other testimonies and other health issues and other journeys that are running alongside this process that's going on in the meantime. And where the Lord was working and healing and addressing other areas, those things were pouring off into and healing and positively affecting other issues. So while he was working on these other areas and in the background with these other things, lo and behold, boom, this gets fixed. That gets put in place. That gets put in alignment. There's no issue over here anymore. Everything is getting put inside of proper alignment. There is no journey. Remember, I showed you the drastic chart where it just plummeted, skydived straight down for the cholesterol. This is the same exact thing. As you notice, I didn't go from 100. Oh, and we text her and now she's at a 70. We test her, now she's at a 55. There was none of that journey and in between and all this stuff and all that stuff. It just plummeted. I went from one moment and era of being off the charts and hanging on by a thread in a bad place to all of a sudden ceased, completely gone, out of the picture, negative, don't exist, not readable, negative. And then as you can see, going up the chart, every time after that, when they would test me and run my urine for the protein and run my kidney health, negative, negative, negative.